All right, so the main thing I noticed in your swing is you have a tendency to cast when you initiate the downswing. I'm going to show you what that is, explain why it's bad, and hopefully give you a little bit of direction as to how you can correct that. So as we get your swing going here, you look good in the address position. You're taking the club away nicely. You're hinging your wrists, and up and until this point in the swing you look good. But as we get to the top of your backswing and the beginning of your downswing, I want you to notice what your wrists are doing. So basically, casting is the motion of unhinging your wrist to initiate the downswing while you're in the top of your backswing. And this is my concern, is right there. I'll show it to you again, and you can just barely see that when you initiate your downswing, you're not bringing the same angle of your wrist hinge down when you initiate the downswing. You're slightly casting, which means again you're unhinging the wrist as you begin the downswing, right there. And I'm going to stop it here with your left arm parallel to the ground. And what I'm going to do here is draw a line on the golf shaft and then another line on your left arm to illustrate the angle that your wrists are hinged. Now what I'm going to do here is pull up Justin Leonard's swing and just do a little comparison of his position and your position on the downswing. And I know this is a PGA Tour swing, and actually it's a winner of a major championship, so this is just a rough guide, but it'll give you a visual about where you should be working towards versus where you are. So as we get Justin's swing going here, I'm going to stop it at the top of his swing, and if you notice his driver shaft is beyond parallel of the ground right there, which means his wrists are fully hinged. So as we get his downswing going, you can see that wrist hinge stays constant through the process of the top of his backswing and then initiating his downswing. That wrist hinge just stays constant. So as we stop his swing with his left arm parallel on his downswing, you can see the angle he's created is probably about a 50-degree angle compared to your angle, which is over 90 degrees. It's more like probably 95 or 100 degrees. So as we continue with Justin's swing, you'll notice he keeps that wrist hinge until the very last second and then unhinges through the hitting zone to really create an enormous amount of club head speed as the club head approaches the impact zone. That's why these guys on tour hit the ball so long. Even the skinny guys like Davis Love, part of it is they hold their wrist hinge until the very last moment and then release as that club head is coming through the hitting zone. So again, if we go over here to your swing, as we're coming into impact, right there, your wrists are almost completely unhinged. And what I would like to see is basically you not begin to unhinge the wrist until you're somewhere in this position right here. Somewhere in here is when you need to initiate that unhinging the wrist instead of at the very top of your swing. So, and actually that's a pretty good impact position there. So the thing that I'd like to have you do is go out to the range with one thought in your head. And the only thing I want you to work on is really try to hold that wrist hinge until the last possible moment before impact. Now, this is one of those things in golf that is a timing thing. So the only way you're going to execute the wrist hinge and unhinging the wrist properly is through repetition. Practice, practice, practice. The one thing that you have to keep in mind is that when you first go out, it's going to feel really, really uncomfortable. But the more you practice and the more you repeat this motion, I guarantee you the easier and more natural it's going to feel, until hopefully you practice to the point where it becomes natural to you and you're not really even thinking about it. So hopefully this helped you out, and hopefully you can work on not casting and keeping that wrist hinge a little bit longer, and that's going to help you out create a longer distance on your balls just by keeping that wrist hinge a little bit longer.